The sound of gunfire ripped through the warm Saturday air, shattering the laughter that had filled the quiet suburban park only seconds ago. Birds scattered from the trees, children screamed, and chaos erupted around the carousel. Amid the panic, a single man ran toward the danger, not away from it. His name was Ethan Brooks, a 34-year-old single father with calloused hands, tired eyes, and the kind of quiet courage that came from years of struggling to survive. When he saw the man in black aiming a gun toward a little girl clutching a pink backpack, Ethan didn't think. He just moved. The bullet hit him before he even felt it. A sharp, blinding pain tore through his shoulder as he shielded the child with his body, crashing to the ground with her underneath. He whispered through gritted teeth, "You're safe, kid. You're safe." Sirens blared in the distance. The gunman fled, and as Ethan faded into unconsciousness, he heard the terrified voice of a woman shouting, "My daughter! Oh my God, my daughter! Before we go deeper, if you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts around the world." When Ethan woke up, everything hurt. The harsh smell of antiseptic filled his nose, and the steady beep of a heart monitor pulsed beside him. His first thought wasn't about himself, it was about his daughter, Mia, only 7 years old. He struggled to sit up, grimacing as he remembered leaving her at the picnic table with her coloring book before everything went wrong. But then a nurse appeared, smiling softly. "Your daughter's fine, Mr. Brooks. She's with a friend in the waiting room. You're lucky." The bullet missed anything vital. Lucky. The word felt strange. He didn't feel lucky. He felt like a man who had been run over by life again. But when the nurse added, "The little girl you protected, her mother's been waiting to see you," Ethan frowned. Moments later, the door opened, and a woman in a cream-colored suit stepped in. Her face was pale, her eyes red-rimmed but sharp, the kind of sharp that came from years of power and loss. "I'm Clara Hensley," she said softly. "You saved my daughter's life." Ethan blinked. The name sounded familiar. Then it clicked. Clara Hensley was the CEO of Hensley Dynamics, one of the biggest tech firms in the state. Her face was often in newspapers, usually with the words visionary or billionaire attached. But now, she just looked like a mother who'd almost lost her world. "She's okay?" Ethan asked. Clara nodded, tears in her eyes. "Because of you." She hesitated, her hand trembling slightly. "I don't even know how to thank you." Ethan shook his head weakly. "You don't have to. Any father would have done the same." But deep down, he knew that wasn't true. Not everyone would have stepped into the line of fire. He wasn't a hero. He was just a dad who couldn't bear to see another child hurt. Clara left her card before she went, insisting he call if he ever needed anything. Ethan smiled politely, knowing he never would. He didn't belong in her world. He had his job as a mechanic, his little rented house, and his daughter's school lunches to worry about. That was enough. A week later, Ethan returned home. His shoulder still ached, but the doctors said he'd recover. Mia had clung to him all night, afraid to let him out of her sight. They were sitting on the porch one bright morning when a deep rumble filled the street. 6 sleek black SUVs rolled to a stop in front of his small house. Neighbors peeked through curtains. Ethan's pulse quickened. From the lead vehicle, a tall man in a dark suit stepped out, scanning the area before opening the rear door. Clara Hensley emerged, wearing sunglasses and a look that meant business. Ethan stood frozen as she approached, flanked by 2 security agents. "Mr. Brooks," she said, her tone gentle but firm, "may I come in?" Inside, she glanced around his modest home, the peeling paint, the thrift store furniture, the drawings on the fridge. Her expression softened. She knelt down to Mia's level and smiled. "You must be the brave little artist." Mia nodded shyly, holding her stuffed bunny. Then Clara turned back to Ethan. "You risked your life for my child. The least I can do is make sure you and your daughter never have to struggle again." Ethan frowned, shaking his head. "Ma'am, I didn't do it for a reward." "I know," she said. That's exactly why you deserve one. Over the next few days, Ethan's quiet life was turned upside down. Clara's company arranged for his medical bills to be paid in full. Then a contractor showed up at his house, explaining that Hensley Dynamics had authorized full repairs and renovations. "It's a gift," Clara told him later, when he tried to refuse. No strings attached. Still, Ethan was uneasy. He'd spent his whole life fighting to stay independent, to prove he could raise his daughter alone after his wife left years ago. He didn't want pity. But then came a letter that changed everything. A letter from Mia's school. They were threatening to suspend her because he couldn't keep up with tuition for her after-school program. That same day, Clara called and said, "Ethan, come by the office. I have something I want to discuss." When he arrived at the towering glass building of Hensley Dynamics, he felt completely out of place in his worn jacket and faded jeans. But Clara met him at the lobby herself. "Ethan," she said, smiling, "I want to offer you a job." He blinked. "A job?" "Yes, head of our maintenance department. Good pay, full benefits, flexible hours. You'd be near your daughter's school, and you'd never have to worry about missing another bill again." Ethan hesitated. "Why me? You could hire anyone." Clara looked at him for a long moment. "Because I need people I can trust, and I've never met anyone with a stronger heart than you." Weeks passed. The new job was more than work. It was a second chance. Ethan became a quiet legend among the employees. Some whispered that the CEO had given a poor single father a miracle out of gratitude. But what Clara saw in him was something deeper, a reminder of humanity in a world often ruled by profit and pressure. Their friendship grew slowly, built on mutual respect. She often invited Mia to play with her daughter Sophie in the company's daycare. The two girls became inseparable. And as Ethan found himself laughing more, healing more, he realized something he hadn't felt in years: hope. But fate wasn't done testing him yet. One rainy afternoon, as he prepared to leave work, an alarm blared through the building. Security rushed past him, shouting into radios. Ethan caught a glimpse of Clara in the corridor, her face pale, eyes wide. "Sophie's missing," she gasped. "Someone took her from the lobby." Without thinking, Ethan ran. The parking garage was dim and echoing, but he caught the faint sound of a child's cry. Following the noise, he spotted a man dragging a small girl toward a van. "Hey!" Ethan shouted, sprinting despite the pain in his shoulder. The kidnapper turned, startled, and pulled a knife. The next moments blurred. Ethan tackled the man, the blade grazing his arm before security arrived. The suspect was restrained, Sophie was safe, and Ethan was once again on the ground, bleeding, clutching the terrified girl close. Clara knelt beside them, tears streaming down her face. "You saved her again." He managed a weak smile. "Just doing what any dad would." Later that night, Clara visited him in the hospital again. She looked different this time, vulnerable. "You've risked your life for my daughter twice, Ethan. I can't keep pretending this is just gratitude." She paused, her voice trembling. "You've reminded me what it means to care beyond numbers and boardrooms. You've shown me real strength." Ethan didn't know what to say. His life had always been about survival, not connection. But as he looked into her eyes, he realized something had quietly changed in both of them. Maybe, just maybe, the broken pieces of two lives could fit together. Months later, the park where it all began was alive again with laughter. Mia and Sophie played together on the swings, while Ethan and Clara sat nearby, watching. She reached for his hand, hesitant at first, then sure. "Thank you," she whispered, "for saving her life, and for giving mine back meaning." He smiled softly. "Guess we both got a second chance." As the sun dipped low, casting a golden glow across the grass, Ethan felt something deep and quiet inside him. A peace he hadn't known in years. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Every click helps us spread hope, courage, and kindness across the world. And before you go, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What would you have done if you were in Ethan's place? Because sometimes the smallest act of courage can change a life forever.